Hey coach, I don't have any rental properties yet. Do I really need a coach? Well, it depends. Hey everybody, Mark Dolfini, Landlord Coach. I hope you are having an awesome day. So here's the thing. You don't have any rental properties yet, and you're wondering if you really need a coach. I've gone back and forth on this a little bit, and I will tell you, a couple of years ago, I would have said, no, you don't really need a coach because really there's nothing to coach, right? I mean, I'm not the guy that would get you into the properties and take you from 0 to 1. Then I realized that I was getting people that were coming to me that didn't have properties yet, and I realized that they didn't even know where to get started. In fact, there was people that had come to me subsequent to buying some rental properties and wanted me to coach them, and I realized that everything they had was a barn fire disaster. They paid too much for properties in bad neighborhoods, and it was just really, really hard to coach them at that point because they basically were pregnant with this property that they basically would have to pay someone else to sell it. So now I look at it from a different perspective. I think it is a good idea to get a coach early on. Now, I say this, it depends. Because if this is not a coach who is going to coach you from a top-down perspective, if they're only going to teach you the tactic and not the why behind it, I don't think that that's doing you a full service. I think you really need, and at least in my opinion, again, this isn't the truth, this is just my truth, but when I wrote the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, it was really important for me to not write a book about more tactics. There's plenty of books out there that teach you the thing, right? The thing to do. But very few get into the nitty-gritty as to why you're doing it in the first place. And that's why I was just stuck on stupid for a while, where I just grew from 15 to 30 to 45 units to basically to 92 rental units. I didn't need 92 rental units to deliver the vision that I wanted. I could have easily stopped at 30, deleveraged, and changed my name to a symbol. Like, you guys wouldn't even know who I was at that point, because I would have been living a pretty decent life. Now, for many of you who know my story, I cratered at 92, and it all just fell in on itself during the recession back in 2009. Now, this recession that's probably going to hit us coming into 2020, I've deleveraged a lot of my cash flow. In fact, I paid down a lot of my debts, got my student loan paid off last September, so I am super happy about that. But the thing is that I'm looking at a lot of people that are trying to buy rental properties, and they're going about it all the wrong way. They're analyzing, they're not using the right analytical tools. They're going on really thin margins into deals that are requiring a high level of rents without a realistic expectation in terms of what expenses are. So I see a lot of people making these mistakes. They're buying properties that are just flat the wrong asset class for what they're really trying to deliver in terms of a vision, if they have a vision at all. Many people that I talk to, they think they have a vision until I start challenging it. And then once I start peeling back the layers of this vision, it's really not all that clear to them at all. So what I would say to you is, if you're going to get a coach, and a coach doesn't need to be me, it needs to be somebody though. I think we all need a coach. If you're going to be really serious in this business, you need a coach, flat out. Now, I'm going to make a distinction here, and I've talked about this before, but if you're going to make a distinction between a coach and a guru, again, this is just my definition, it's not the definition, but I think a guru is really somebody who can teach you the tactic. Right? Think of, like, for those of you in a football realm, think of it as like a tackle coach, right? Where you might have the entire defensive coordinator, but he's not really the tackle coach. He just teaches guys how to tackle. That's what I'm saying. Like, so you'll have those individual coaches that do the individual tactic that are really good at that tactic, but that's not really what you might need, because I'll use this other example. I use this martial arts example all the time, where, if you're built like me, I'm 5'7", $150, I'm not a real big guy, but I can defend myself really well in certain situations, using certain tactics that are suitable for me. Now, if you're going to tell me that I need to shoulder throw this 350-pound guy to defend myself, and that's the only tactic that I know, I'm probably going to get my ass beat, right? So that's why I would say, realistically, I can't teach you every tactic that's going to be great for everybody because different tactics are different for everybody. You have different skill sets. You have different interests. You have different risk tolerances. You just have things that you just don't want to do. That's okay. So that's why there's not one size fits all when it comes to tactics. That's why I like to approach it from the top down: vision, infrastructure, and process. So I don't really want to get into the vision piece on how to do that here, but there are plenty of vision coaches out there. I do vision coaching because that's where it starts with me. Is vision is just kind of the true north. That's how you make all your decisions by. So if that's something you'd like to have a conversation about, drop me an email. It's mark@landlordcoach.com. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you, and we can just go through that and see what that's all about. That's all I have for today. Please place a value on your free time because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Please stay healthy. I'm praying for you all. Have a great rest of your day.